What's up, you guys? My name is Alex Gervasio. I'm a travel photographer and model. So for today's video, I wanted to give advice to any 20-year-old that may be watching this video. So if you are 20 years old, this is for you. So let's go ahead and get into it, you guys. So the first tip I have for you guys is do not buy brand name clothing. When I was young, I used to tell my parents, oh, I want like shoes from Foot Locker. And my mom or dad would be like, well, no, like you're gonna get it from Walmart or Payless. Like we can go look there. And most of the time we would just end up going to Foot Locker because they had a better selection anyway. But sometimes I did have to settle with Payless shoes or even like Walmart shoes, especially when I went to visit my dad, because my dad was a lot more tight with his money than my mom. And he was just like, nope, this is what you have to choose for, so you choose wisely. Now that I'm older, I never really understood that. So when you're young, you're just like, oh, you want to wear whatever you want, right, and look good and all of that. And you may just want to impress your friends too, because that's just the style when you're young, is to wear brand name clothing. But you guys, what you don't know is you're just setting yourself up for failure, specifically when like the older you get, you're just gonna keep on doing that. So you're gonna think that that's like what you're supposed to do versus not doing that. Like honestly, for me, for example, I buy my clothes from Walmart. I don't ever go to like the mall. I used to be that person who used to go to the mall and go to Aeropostale and American Eagle and this and that, or Abercrombie and Fitch when I was young, and Puma this, and I used to wear Puma from head to toe, you guys. Like I used to wear Puma like matching jacket with my pants, and then I would wear like my Puma shoes, and like this is back when Puma was like really popular. And you guys, I thought about it, and I was like, I wasted so much money, and most of that money wasn't even mine, it was my mom's. And it's just not good. It's just not smart to do that. Yeah, you may look good and whatnot, yeah, you may impress a few girls or guys, whatever you're into, but it's just not worth it, because in the long run it's going to affect you with you not being able to do that in the long run. If you are great, good for you, kudos to you that you're able to be financially stable enough to still pay your bills and buy brand name clothing and all of that. If you can do that, great. The average person doesn't have that. We don't have that luxury, and let's just be real, we need to snap out of it. And a lot of us are like living the wrong lifestyle, and it has to be brand name this, brand name that. And I'm just here to tell you that is just, in the long run, it's not going to be smart for you, because you're going to be broke. You're going to be accustomed to that lifestyle. So when you're older, and you're going to have a rude awakening when you're older, especially too, because you're not going to be able to buy that stuff, and you're going to be like, oh, well, what do I do now? Yeah. Now you can't buy Abercrombie and Fitch or Aeropostale, or you can't buy even stuff from like Macy's, even stuff from Old Navy. Yeah, because it can get kind of expensive, and you're going to be like, oh, well, Walmart is like half the price. Well, yeah, so that's what you're going to have to do, especially if you live alone. For me, when I started, I've always been with somebody all my life, but back in 2017 when I started on my own, I basically just learned real quick that I had to buy stuff from Walmart. I had to buy shoes from Walmart. I couldn't buy brand name stuff because I couldn't afford it, and yeah, I had family and stuff, and who did buy me stuff at Christmas time, and that's the only reason I have brand name clothing right now, or like usually outerwear, is because my family has given it to me as gifts or whatnot. Literally, like, I don't buy brand name clothes. So that's just tip number one. Tip number two, you guys, is if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Meaning, if you have a debit card, even, right? You don't even have to have a credit card for this. But if you have a debit card, like, and you overdraft and you say, oh, well, I'll just pay for it later. No, you guys, take it from me, because I've made the bank like a lot of money, hundreds of dollars, probably thousands, when I was young, of overdraft fees. And that is the worst thing you could do, because you're just giving money away, basically. Like, essentially you're paying for like almost twice as much as if you would have just saved your money, waited, and then bought whatever you're trying to buy, but not me. I guess, again, I was buying brand name stuff, all of this and that, going to the mall. This is when I was a teenager, so it's just like, you spend a lot of money as a teenager, because you go to the mall, you go to the movies, you go out, you want to look good too, so then now you have to buy nice clothes. And you guys, it's just, money doesn't grow on trees. So that's just my advice for that. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't use credit cards. There won't be no later on, I'll pay this, that. No, if you can't afford it right now, today, don't buy it. Just wait. Just wait, and then you'll probably feel even better when you are able to buy it, because you're going to be able to buy it in cash. You know what I'm saying? So that's my second tip for you, you know. So, and you guys, one of the other things I would advise any 20-year-old is, I want to say this carefully, but basically stand up for yourself. If you're getting disrespected, don't ever tolerate that. You know, don't go around saying, oh, nobody's going to disrespect me, and thinking you're a hard ass, and go around disrespecting everybody. You treat people how you would like to be treated, and vice versa. If somebody's treating you not good, somebody's treating you badly, somebody's abusing you verbally, mentally, anything, you stand up for yourself. You get away from that situation. You distance yourself from that person if possible. Whatever you have to do. Yeah, it's hard because some people might be like your immediate family. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your mind, and that's just kind of my advice is tread lightly. Don't go around being crazy, but just don't, you know, stand up for yourself when needed. You know, value yourself, value your mind, your peace, your well-being, and all of that. All right, you guys, so that brings me to my fourth tip for you. If you're a 20-year-old and you're watching this, listen up, because this is very important, and you might not think this is important, but it is. Okay, you ready? A lesson that I learned in my life, I'm 32 years old, is have a backup as far as like financially for savings. And you don't, you know, you might think, oh, I don't like to save, or I can't save money, or I don't even have a savings account. Okay, that's fine. You can actually open up a 401k account with certain banks, with especially if you're working. It's a lot easier to open one up when you're working, because a lot of jobs offer 401k. So basically, here's a lesson. Okay, so when I got fired from Walmart 2 years ago, I was waiting for unemployment to come through. So at that time, I needed to pay my bills. So I was like, okay, what can I do to help pay for like my car? My car payment is like $418 every single month. And I was like, okay, I thought about it, and I was like, wait a minute. I had some savings from Walmart, thankfully, like a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I went through that within a month, and like I said, I was like, I need to pay my bills. And I remember that I had opened up a 401k account with Walmart, like at the beginning of my career there, I guess, right? So, and you guys, I kind of forgot about it, but by the time I had looked at my balance, like it was just, I'm not bragging at all, but it was just, you know, in the thousands. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. Like I have I have backup money, you know, like that. It was great, you know, and very much needed. Let me just say that. But I basically, you know, learned from my mistakes, but I actually used most of that money to travel, to do whatever I wanted. I went to Arizona for like 2 weeks, like, and that was great and everything, you know, and I'm thankful that I had that money saved up, but I wish I would have just not spent all that money on stuff like that. But, you know, it is what it is. So guys, my advice for you is to have some type of backup, some type of savings, some type of 401k. It is very possible. They may be thinking, oh, 401k, you need to put thousands or hundreds of money in there. No, you really don't even have to do that. You can actually open up a 401k account and just put, you know, a little bit at a time, and then, you know, 20, I don't know exactly what, different banks are different, you know, but basically if you're working specifically, you really want to invest in yourself by having a 401k account, okay? Because you never know when you might need that money as an emergency. You might lose your job, or you might have to pay for something, or you might want to use that money for buying a house later on down the line, and you can use that money towards that. There you go, you know. So the only thing I will say with you doing that and withdrawing from your 401k, this is very important. Listen, if you do that, you get penalized. So if you take out $1,000 from your 401k, they deduct, let's say they're gonna take away like $150 because you're taking money out. So you get penalized. That money comes out of your money. You know what I mean? So let's say you have $10,000. If you take out $1,000 again, it's gonna be $150. You know, some like $150 extra just for you doing that. So you add it all up, and after a while you realize, oh wow, you know, I shouldn't have been taking that money out. Yeah, so, but you guys, that's what I've learned. Just take that advice from me. This is really, really useful and beneficial, and I feel like a lot of people aren't really talking about this or really just putting light on how important it is to have a 401k account nowadays, especially in today's economy. It is very, very important. Right now I'm unemployed, but once I start working, you best believe that I'm going to sink in as much money as I possibly can into starting a 401k account again, because I realized on how valuable it is to have something like that. This brings me to my 5th tip, you guys. This is a bonus tip, so this is also very important, is for you to build your credit. If you don't want to build a credit, okay, fine, at least have a little bit of a plan to do that. And one thing that I've learned is it is always wise to have a credit card, and just for small stuff. I want to be adamant about that. You don't use this credit card for nothing big, you don't go shopping with it, you don't go to the movies, none of that. Dinner, no, don't do it. I would advise, and I need to take this advice myself because I still don't have a credit card because I don't want one, but I need one and I should get one, because you can build your credit up by just every time you get gas, use your credit card. Remember to pay that amount back, you know what I mean, after a while, but use your credit card, and that way you're building up credit little by little, and that way you're not, at the same time, you're not making yourself broke by spending a lot of money. So that's just another bonus tip, you guys. So that is 5 tips, you guys. Hopefully you can use one of those. I really, really advise you really take these seriously, because these are all things that I wish I would have known when I was 20 years old, and some of the things I already might have known, but I just didn't care because you're young and dumb and you just don't give a ish, you know, and that's normal. But it is smart to put one of these tips into action and actually use them to your benefit. So that is it, you guys. Those are my 5 tips for any 20-year-old who may be watching this video. Please like and subscribe. This applies to anyone who's younger than 20, actually, too. So if you're younger than 20, this applies to you. This can apply to you as well. So you guys, thank you again for watching. I appreciate it, all the love and support from anybody, or if you're new to my channel and you're subscribing, I really, really appreciate that, like you have no idea. So that's it for today's video, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video.